Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. I feel a little out of practice. We missed a couple weeks here.
Long time no see.
We're back, and better than ever.
Yes.
That will remain to be seen. But I am Georgianne, and this is my friend Eric.
Hello.
And we're here to talk a little bit more about what we learned on Sunday. And this week we kicked off a new series. I say a new series. BeGenerous Always, but we've done this a couple of years in a row.
Annual series.
Yeah, and I think that is like a testament to how important this topic is, right?
Yeah.
And as I think we talk more and more about it, we will become more comfortable in talking about the topic of debt and finances and generosity, right?
Hopefully.
Will we?
Yeah.
We're trying.
Maybe we hope.
We're moving, right?
Yes.
We're moving in the right direction. So this series, Be Generous Always, is about generosity. And in all areas, I think, but most particularly this week, we talked about the area of finances. And why do you think that we shy away from talking about this? I think not just in the church, but
I think everybody,
society, culture in general.
They say it's like politics, religion, and they should add money to that. Like those are taboo things you just don't talk about because of all the different facets of it can cause shame when one person has more money than the other. Like when you're bad with money, that causes shame, and it's just an awful thing to talk about. But we should.
Yeah, and I have actually no uncomfortability talking about money, but that is because, it's been a long journey for us. And we did do Financial Peace University, which, by the way, we don't have the date for that yet, but it's going to be coming up January? Is that what you said?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, it's going to be coming up in the early part of this year, so stay tuned for more on that because it's amazing and you definitely will want to do it. But I think, like a lot of other things that we, I guess I would say, seek to be delivered from, debt, bad financial decisions can be like a really generational thing, right? I don't know about you, but in my family, bad money decisions and that translated into my childhood, teenager, and even into, well into adulthood.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I grew up in a family that, sure, there was probably bad money decisions, but they made a conscious decision that mom would be a stay-at-home mom and dad was a minister, so he didn't make much money. And we just lived off of very low middle-class income. And we were just always paycheck to paycheck because of it, and also the taboo-ness of it. My dad came from an older generation that never talked about money, so I just never learned about money. So now, playing catch-up, having awkward conversations about how bad I am with money because I'm having to learn. But yeah, fun times.
Well, I mean, you're still young, so you have time, and you have time to learn from experiences.
Yeah.
And I think that can be the best way to learn is by making some hard mistakes on your own and thinking, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
I've done that more times than I would care to admit.
Yes. Teach your kids about money before they go to college and rack up debt.
I think I would say at this point that our kids would say that they have learned good money lessons from us, but it's taken a long time.
Yeah.
But the big idea of this week's message was
don't buy bikes without asking.
That was one of them. That was a good lesson because that will cause you marital issues probably. The big idea was remember who your boss is. And why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Josh used an example of Paul preaching to a bunch of slaves that are in the worst of predicament and still could say to them, hey, keep working as if it's for the Lord, not the master who is trying to lord over you.
Was that Colossians 3:23?
Yeah, it comes up in other books too where Paul, because of the nature of early Christianity, was talking to a bunch of slaves, and it's just, it's hard to hear Paul say those words, but when you see why he's doing it, and see the countercultural things he's doing. It's unbelievable the kinds of things Paul was saying as a early Christ follower in those years.
Well, and I think, I mean, obviously the Word of God is living and breathing, and so what we read there, we can apply to our lives today, even thousands of years later. And what this means is that our stuff doesn't actually belong to us. It belongs to God, and God will have the final say. He should have the first say and the final say on what we do with our resources, right?
Yeah, and I've talked to one of the big places I think Paul can really speak to us in that instance is I know a lot of people that really struggle with some of the aspects of capitalism and like, how am I working for people to make the rich richer and the poor poorer? And it's like, unfortunately, we find ourselves in a fallen society and fallen culture, but how can we work within this culture to be responsible with what we are gifted, but also to work in all things as if we're working for Christ?
And I think a big part of that in the church, and especially here at Movement, is using what God has gifted us with to help other people in need, and not even always for just helping them with the minimum need, like doing something to be a blessing to them over and above. And we have a couple of opportunities for that coming up. We just finished up our Thanksgiving food drive, so that was one example of that. And then in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be collecting some things for DCYF and kids in foster care, and also the Pass Along Project, which also is affiliated with foster care. So stay tuned. You're going to see more about this, but I'll just let you know what those items are. We're going to be collecting not pre-made gingerbread houses that they can build, right? Yeah. The book, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and then also new socks, underwear, and pajamas for the Pass Along Project. And so
DCYF asked if we could focus on later, like grade school ages, like older
right.
kids.
I think it was 5 to 12. Is that what we said?
Something like that.
Okay, so you'll get more details on that coming up. We'll put a specific post and a list, but we wanted to get that in front of you. And just as we're continuing to think and pray about ways to be generous to the people around us, and just to honor God with our stewardship.
Yep.
So if you have any questions or comments, if you want to talk more about this topic, you can put your comments here. Eric or I will chime in once we can see the comments, or you can go back and see the beginning of the series on YouTube or Facebook if you missed it. And hopefully we will not miss any more Tuesdays. We say every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Things have to be flexible right now. So roll with us, but join here and on Sunday, 9:30 and 11.
Yep.
All right. See you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.